Asha, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then
Am
you
I
can.
audible properly?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so I am sharing my screen. Okay, so if we look the history, then we find that religion has played a very significant role in the society, and we also see that often religion is also used as a soft corner, which can be manipulated by the power to take the control over the people. So today, my topic for the presentation is that religion, a sustained tool of a manipulation from colonial period to the post-colonial world. So here we say that how a religion become a tool or a kind of a weapon for the imperialist as well as for after the post-colonial world. Whoever take the power, they use religion as a kind of a weapon to get control over the people. So here we see the use of a religion and the religious imperialism with reference to the Things Fall Apart, a novel by Chinua Achebe. And there is an interesting example or image which is shown here, which says that the recipe, that the interminglation of the religion as well as politics can be a recipe for the disaster. So let's begin with some of the objectives of my presentation. So here are some of the objectives. First is that how colonizers implement religion to establish their colonies. This we see with reference to the Things Fall Apart novel, that how the Christian missionaries are using a religion as a tool to establish their colonies in Igbo culture. Then second is how an interminglation of politics and religion can be a disastrous for a nation or for the development of a nation. So this we see with reference to contemporary example. And the final one is that how religion remains a sustained weapon from the colonial period to the post-colonial world to establish a power. So Things Fall Apart is a story by is a novel by Chinua Achebe, and this can be seen as the best example of what the Bill Ashcroft used to say about the post-colonial writing in his book, The Empire Writes Back. So this book can be considered as the best example, which is by Chinua Achebe, where he writing back to the empire. And this book is also a kind of, we can say, written from the perspective of the African point of view. So this novel can be seen against the Heart of Darkness, which is written from the perspective of Orientalist. So the story of the Things Fall Apart is like that. There is a one clan which named Umuofia, and Umuofia is a structured pre-colonial, vibrant, sophisticated society. They follow their own religion and they have their own culture. But we can see a drastic change in the society after the establishment of a new god, a kind of a new god which is established by the Christian missionaries in this particular society. So the below line, which gives the best description of the story, is that the white men not had only brought a religion but also a government. It was said that they had built a place of judgment in Umuofia to protect the followers of their religion. It was even said that they had hanged one man who killed a missionary. So this particular statement taken from the Things Fall Apart describe that the how the Christian missionaries enter into the world of Umuofia and they transform their whole society, their whole culture, and the people are now not able to see what the real culture is. So let's begin with a quote by Gandhiji, that Gandhiji says that those who say that religion has nothing to do with the politics do not know what religion is. religion plays a very significant role in society. We all know that, and religion can also become a gateway for the is also used as a kind of a gateway by Christian missionaries to enter into the Umuofia. So we can't say that the religion has nothing to do with politics, or here we can say with the imperialism. So how missionaries enter into the Igbo community. So there are many strategies which are applied by the Christian missionaries to enter into the world of Umuofia. Some of the strategies are like trading. They used to do a kind trade in the Umuofia. Then they established their own church, and they introduced their own religion to the Umuofian society, and they are implementing their own religion as a kind of a superior to the Umuofian society. So the people, so they are superior because of people of Igbo, and the fall of the Igbo society happens here. So the statement by the Fernando and Eric represented the strategies which are applied here by the Christian missionaries are such like that. First, they are creating a kind of a conflict between the religion and their education system. Then they are using, then they are establishing their own government, and then they are using they establishing their own religion to impose their own culture over the Igbo culture. So let's see how the Christian religion is implemented in Igbo community. So there are many strategies which are applied by the Christian missionaries to get control over the Igbo community. So the very first strategy which can be said is that they are disregarding the African community's religion. They consider, they used to say to people that their religion is inferior and their religion is not good at all. Because they promote the idea of diversity, like there are many gods in Igbo community. So it creates a kind of a conflict between the people's mind, and by disregarding the African community's religion, Christian missionaries try to establish their own religion. Then they also use native people as a means of communication. They use native people to spread their own religion. Then also they promote one idea that peace through religion. So if they say that the religion of the Igbo community which they are following is a kind of a disastrous or is bad in comparison to Christian religion, because it brings violence in the society. So and there is one man, Mr. Brown, who says that we have been sent by this great God to ask you to leave your wicked ways and false gods. Turn to him so that you may be the saved when you die. So this statement clearly says that the Christian missionaries are saying the religion of the Igbo community as wicked. And they are also saying that you are following the false god. So in that way, applying by these all kinds of strategies, Igbo community tried to encroach the land of Umuofia. Then we see that how the subalternism and religious transformation happens in the Igbo community. So if we see history, then we see that the people who are marginalized in society, they are easily get convinced to transform their religion. So if we see in India, then the people of lower community are also transforming their religion to Buddhism. In the same manner, here we say that the people who are marginalized in the Igbo community are transferring their religion first. So some of the people like Ufulefu, so they are the worthless men who used to live in evil forest. They are transferring their religion first. Then the Agbala women, women who do not have earned any title, are transforming their religion. Then the untitled men and the Osu is a kind of a caste, and this caste is outcasted by the Igbo community, and they also used to live in evil forest. And women with her twins. So there is one tradition that the a tradition or a kind of a misbelief that the women who give a birth to twins, they are considered as evil and they are forced to live in a evil forest. So these are some of the marginalized community, marginalized people who do not have given a voice in their society. They are transforming their religion from Igbo religion to the Christian religion. So if we want to give the analogy of Frantz Fanon's view, that what he said about the that the colonial world is a Manichaean world. So Manichaean world refers that a kind of a dual view of the world in which the colonizers tried to separate the world in the two parts. The one is a good and second one is a evil. So here we see that the colonizers are separating, they are creating the two worlds, so that their world is a good and the world or the religion which are followed by the Igbo community is not good at all. So they used to say the religion of the Igbo community is a wicked. They also say that your religion encourage you to kill your fellow and the innocent children, which we see in the example of Umuofia is killed by the order of the god. And they are the Christian missionaries also said that you are worshipping a false god. So here we see that in Manichaean world, the Christian missionaries are creating a two separate world, that the world of the colonizers is a more rational, more is used by the colonizers to get the control or to encroach the land of the Igbo communities. So let's come back to the post-colonial world. So now how the religion is also used in the similar manner by the power to get control over the people or to manipulate people. So the element of God is time and again used in the politics. So here we see some of the examples that the Fabricio Alvarado, who is the one of the one of the minister of the Costa Rica, and he is during his election marching, he is using a slogan that if a man of a God can't govern us, then nobody can. Then another example is from Jair Bolsonaro, who is also the one of the presidential figure in the Brazil, and he is also using the element of a god or a kind of a religion, bring in their election marching and said that the Brazil before everything, God above all. So these are some of the examples that how the element of God is used in a politics or in a power to get control over the people. And now coming back to the India, that how the politics, religion and the floundering pillars of the secularism in India. So from some of the recent events, we see that the religion is used by the political powers or by the political figures to earn the vote or to get the control over the people or to earn the trust of the person. So can we say that the Indian community is transforming into a kind of a Hinduist nationalism? So here are some of the questions which we can raise with reference to the religion used by the political leaders or by the democratic system to get the control over the people. That is Sri Ram temple is the only manifestation of the cultural nationalism or a gateway towards the Hindu nationalism. Then the second question we can raise similarly is that are we establishing the Lord Rama as the new god of the new secular India? So in the Things Fall Apart, we see that the Christian missionaries are establishing their God as a new God, and he is the only God, and they say that he is the only God of the whole world. So here we see, in the similar manner, we can see that is Indian community establishing the Lord Rama as the new god of the country? Then how far it is fair to pass a law of prohibition of beef eating in the secular state? And why new NRC CA excluding Muslim minorities is this act violating the Article 14 of the Equality before law and Article 25, freedom of religion? So these are some of the questions which we can raise against the religious nationalism or the Hinduist, the transforming nation of India into a Hinduist nationalism. And time and again we see that the great scholars used to give a kind of a remark that religion should not be used as a tool to control the people. So the Shashi Tharoor said in one of his books, that Battle of the Belonging, that the religious bigotry that partitioned the country with the founding of Pakistan has now been mirrored in pluralist India. As I told my fellow parliamentaries, that was a partition in the Indian soil. This is now a partition of the Indian soil. So if we see the partition of India and Pakistan, then there is a core reason is of religion. And again, now we see that some kind of a religious conflict which are creating in this society, there might be a possible reason of a religion. Then Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar is also said that bhakti in religion may be a road to the salvation of the soul, but in the politics, bhakti or a hero worship is a sure road to degradation and to eventual dictatorship. So the Baba Saheb Ambedkar is also said in one of his speech that the religion, we should keep the religion and the politics apart. And at the final, I would like to conclude by one of the statement from the book that he came quietly, peaceably with his religion. We were amused at his foolishness, allowed him to stay. Now he has won our brothers, and our clan can no longer act like one. He has put a knife on the things that held us together, and we have fallen apart. So this is how we can see the religion is used as a tool to create a conflict between a society in imperialist world also, and now after the post-colonial, now in the post-colonial world also, we are using a religion as a kind of a tool to get control over the people. And whenever we use the religion, and whenever we intermingle the religion and the politics, there are some conflict is going to be created. So thank you. These are some of the references. And thank you everyone. And if anyone have a question, it would be pleasure to answer your questions.
Okay, good. Well prepared. You can stop presenting, and if Bharti or Tara, they have question, they can prepare the question. In one of your slides, you mentioned this quotes for the elections in Latin America and in Brazil. That was about Alvarado and Bolsonaro. So what was the citation for this?
For that, the citation is that a new trend of religion populism in Latin America.
Is it Voices or Voices? The dialogue, inter-American dialogue. No?
Yes, Voices.
And another one is by Osborne, Catherine Osborne, I think.
Yes, sir, Catherine Osborne.
So it is alphabetically, it is cited with O and V. Yes. So even in your main slide, that is when you do in-text citation, at that time here, you have to make that reference that these are cited with Osborne or Voices, because yes, when a reviewer is doing the verification of your citations, at that time they will go to Alvarado and Bolsonaro. The way it comes in the slide, they will go to A and B alphabetically, but they will not find Alvarado or Bolsonaro. So they may say that where is this cited? It is not clear. Yes. When you send journal articles or thesis work, all these things are a pathway to help the reviewers that from where you have cited. So if in-text citation is not proper and not showing the path that from here you have to go there, that's why alphabetical method is used. That you see the last name, you go there, and everybody follows the same pattern throughout the world. So whenever the work is going for the review for international publications or other thing, they know that this is the common procedure or method that everybody is following, and they do review accordingly. So that is so from that angle you can always see that when you are citing, who are supposed to read your citations. This will be reviewers, and if they want to reach at some place, how your in-text citation is showing the path. These are the signboards. So you go to the last page, that is work cited or references. There the clear reference is given, so they can refer to book or website, and then they can see that have you understood that properly or not. So sometimes you are picking up the words, but was that word said in the same context or the another one, that can be cross-verified. So that are the purposes. So in text you have to be careful. Otherwise everything was very well integrated. All other sources were very well integrated there.